You are listening to KSG podcast. This is a short, crisp, concise, exam-oriented, edited editorial for civil services aspirants. In this podcast, we are going to talk about the court joint statement. Source for the content is Vishwa Mohan's article for the Times of India. India has so far not formally announced to update its nationally determined contribution, that is NDC, climate action target under the Paris Agreement, but the country, as part of the Quad group, has indicated upgrading its pledges in sync with global goal of net zero emissions, preferably by 2050, while taking into account its national circumstances. The update on higher ambition may happen ahead of the upcoming UN climate conference, that is COP26, which is scheduled to be held in Glasgow in UK in November. Though India will keep its option open to see what the three others in the group, the US, Japan, and Australia, may offer in terms of public finance and technology transfer to developing countries, the joint statement of the Quad nations after their first ever in person leaders summit at the White House on 24th of September 2021 has at least showed New Delhi's willingness to join the high ambition league ahead of COP26 idea of not sticking with the 2050 timeline and keeping in view national circumstances will in fact be in line with what India has been pushing for while asking different timelines for reaching carbon neutrality by different countries. It is expected that India will factor in its renewable energy push, land degradation neutrality target, goal of making Indian Railways a net zero carbon emitter by 2030, and overachievement of its 2015 Paris pledges, and aggregate them all as part of its updated NDC. If that happens, it would be a shift from New Delhi's earlier stated position of upgrading the NDC at the time of global stocktake in 2023, underlining the need to work together to keep the Paris aligned temperature limits within reach and will pursue efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre industrial levels. The joint statement of Quad leaders spoke about their intention to update or communicate ambitious NDCs by COP26 and welcome those who have already done so. Hosted by the US President Joe Biden, the Quad meet in Washington, D.C. was attended by Prime Minister Scott Morrison of Australia, and Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga of Japan at the White House. Referring to the Quad nations' collaboration in dealing with the climate crisis, the leaders' joint statement said, and I quote, "Our work is organized across three thematic areas: climate ambition, clean energy innovation and deployment, and climate adaptation, resilience and preparedness, with the intent to pursue enhanced actions during the 2020s, contributing to the aim of achieving global net zero emissions preferably by 2050 and taking into account national circumstances." Unquote. They also spoke about pursuing nationally appropriate sectoral decarbonization efforts, including those aimed at decarbonizing shipping and port operations and the deployment of clean hydrogen technology. That's it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. To join KSG India courses and to crack the ICE exam, visit ksgindia.com. You can also get a PDF of this podcast on ksgindia.com. Thanks for listening.